Hey everybody, it's Michael Kosta. This is the Tennis Anyone podcast. It is Tuesday, February 25th. How you doing? Thanks for listening. I'm on YouTube. Some of you can see there's this box behind me. We're going to do an unboxing later. This just showed up from Asheville, North Carolina, coming from Jim Curley after I did that exhibition event. So I don't know what's in this, so we're going to unbox this together. It's pretty big. I like stuff, just like everybody. I like stuff. Here it is. From HCCA. HCCA. All I'm thinking of is Hillsborough Community College. That's not right. Something association. I should know this. Oh, shit. Jim Curley actually listens to this podcast. I should know this. It's coming from Asheville. I hope I didn't put my address on there. I don't think I did. We'll have to check for that. Yeah, actually, that reminds me. We've been getting weird emails, and I don't want to get too much into it, but let's just say this. I'll be very broad. I got to be more careful about putting my email out there, and it's scary. It can be scary. So 99.9% of people are kind and generous and great. And by the way, it's not usually the people that email you, fuck you, I hate your guts. It's usually the people that are fans and start to expect something, and then they turn when that doesn't meet their unrealistic expectation. So that's all I'm going to say, but I'm not going to be broadcasting my email anymore, and I just have to be more careful. Thank you for all of you that understand, and thank you for all of you that are just normal and kind and don't take it into a crazy place. I will also say to anybody out there, everyone's human. Everyone is fallible. Everyone makes mistakes. Whoever you're putting on a pedestal, by the way, it wasn't even in my notes. This is why I love this pod. Totally forgot that I did this last night. Went to see the Broadway musical Great Gatsby. And what a fascinating character. I mean, Gatsby puts Daisy on this pedestal, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Either you're going to get it and it's not going to live up to what you think, or you're not going to get it and that's going to cause you to spiral. As soon as humans started making statues of humans, we were fucked. I mean, it makes way more sense to me to make a statue of Zeus or a Pegasus or, you know, I was just in Puerto Rico, the El Yunque National Forest. Yunque was the god that the indigenous people, and there's a cliff, and there's a part in the cliff that kind of looks like a face. So that was their god's face. You know, gods don't have to make mistakes. Gods don't have to be fallible. But as soon as we took a doctor, a soldier, a general, whatever, and we made a statue of him, well, guess what? That person also has some shitty stuff. I did a Daily Show piece when I first got on the show where we went around New York City, and it's somewhere out there. I probably could Google it and find it. And kind of, this was when the Confederate statues were starting to come down. One of the best stories also is this Fort Bragg shit. That Fort Bragg was a Confederate leader. So they took it down eventually. The Trump administration didn't like that. They took down Fort Bragg's name. They called it Fort Liberty, something. Trump administration sees this as something that they don't like, so they renamed it Fort Bragg, but it's not that Fort Bragg, not the Confederate soldier who most likely owned slaves. It's a different Fort Bragg that no one knows about, that they just cherry-picked from the histories of the American military. Very funny story. Very, very, very funny story. How did we get... Oh, so we were going around these statues in New York City, And there's one on the Upper West Side of this doctor who was pivotal in his discovery of women's health, period, menstruation, a lot of important stuff. How babies happen. Well, guess what? He was doing experiments on black women against their will and consent, slaves. Terrible, 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 terrible. But if you only see one side of it, or if you only know one side of it because history doesn't teach you everything, well, then you make a statue of them. Humans we're fucked up. We're fucked up. How'd we get on this? My email. Me holding up a box with maybe my address on it. Thankfully, this was sent to the office, so haha. Thank Michael. Short-term memory. What's happened to it since COVID? Is it COVID? Is it kids? Is it the food I'm eating? Is it plastics in my brain? I'll come back to it. Where's my water? I had a great day yesterday. What the fuck was I just talking about? It was Fort Bragg, back that up to the Daily Show piece about statues, back that up to El Yunque, back that up to humans are fallible, back that up to my email, back that up to the box, back that up to security. Got it. If anybody out there understands memory and how exactly I just lost it and then re-got it back, will you email me, please? Here's my email. Just kidding. Message me on Instagram. That's much safer, I guess, at this point. Just lost it again. Oh, people that obsess over celebrities or politicians or stalkers, whatever. And I know this is hard to hear if you are one of those people because nobody ever wants to say, oh, I'm a stalker. Oh, I'm the crazy person that emails. Oh, I'm a racist. That was the one thing that it was never smart for the left to start calling the right racist. Even though you could argue maybe it is. Because immediately it puts them in a defensive position and they're just going to say, no, I'm not. It would be better if they rebranded it somehow. Anyways, I still keep losing this. Oh, if somebody is an emailer or a stalker or shows up, they have a mental health crisis. Trauma they haven't dealt with, undiagnosed something, anxiety, whatever it is. And what happens is that turmoil gets focused on a individual or a person. And this is why security teams exist. Luigi Mangione is a good example of this. Man, you can talk about healthcare in this country all you want. There's a lot of people that saw him as some type of folk hero or vigilante. But I mean, without a doubt, Luigi Mangione has a problem in his brain, psyche, emotional development, whatever it is. And that manifested itself in murdering someone, shooting them in the back, which seemed like a really, really thought out crime. He printed on the bullets, and then they just found him on a bus stop with the murder weapon. Like, dude, you planned the first half, but not the second half? What are we talking about today? Kosta, it's going big. This Friday, Atlanta. This Saturday, St. Louis. The book is coming out March 11th, very, very soon. I did Andy Roddick's podcast, Served, yesterday with John Wertheim. That was so much fun. I'll talk a little bit about that. We'll do this unboxing. I've got live dates coming up. Atlanta, St. Louis, New York City, March 12th at the City Winery. That's the actual book launch event. Bang! I'm doing stand-up. We have some other great stand-ups, and then we'll be doing a book signing. March 11th, I'm at the Barnes & Noble Upper West Side just doing a book signing. Boston, you've been added to the list. Harvard Bookstore doing a signing April 5th, April 4th. Boston doing a City Winery stand-up. So we got book signings in New York. Austin at Book People March 13th. Also performing Austin Mothership March 14th and 15th. Palm Beach, just a book signing March 22nd. LA, Lucky loser got into the LA Times Festival of Books. Oh, shit. Costa's in the motherfucking house. Whatever that is. Can you imagine your boy Kosta, former 864th best tennis player in the world, now turned comedian at a literary festival? What? Yeah. I mean, as someone that interviews a lot of authors on The Daily Show, which I love, my number one guest are authors, not actors, not activists. Can be a little heavy-handed. Authors. Authors spend time, energy, diligence, effort, persistence, fight, passion, enthusiasm on a subject, and goddamn, do they just never get respected. Their book is them, authors. Their book is them. I love talking to them. Let's hear how this shit went down. Let's hear the process. How much did you learn? I love authors. And I always get pitched these guests that are like, they're a this and a this and a this, and they also play the guitar, and they also, I don't even want to start going on that. And supposedly the only guests that really draw ratings are like Beyonce and Tom Cruise or something. So what my point is, the author who spent 3 years in a cobalt mine in West Africa gets the same ratings as like your shitty actor in a Showtime show that you don't have or subscribe to. They both get the same. So then let's try to do guests that actually have something to say about the world and actually add significant thought-provoking value to the world. White Lotus is great right now. There's a great scene. The critics didn't like this season 3, but I'm liking it. I always like it. I'm kind of always waiting for something to happen, right? That's kind of his trick. If White Season Lotus 1 was about race, White Season Lotus 2 was about sex or infidelity. Very cringe season 2. I mean, like, not cringe that it was bad, cringe that it was hard to watch. I believe, and I've only seen 2 episodes, but correct me if I'm wrong, season 3, White Lotus, is this about identity? Is this about the masks we wear and keep and reinforce? I think so. And they've got some fascinating characters. Also very cool, and this is also very cool that he always uses Mike White. He always uses local stories, local characters. I know he's not perfect in that regard. There's a lot to be said for a bunch of LA people showing up to Thailand with their money and their airplanes and their plastic water bottles and their pollution. But there are some compelling real characters from the local culture, which I like and is cool. So anyways, not all. Oh, there's a funny line in there where the drugged out, pilled head wife, who I think is going to become more and more interesting as the season goes on, goes, actresses are really just prostitutes. And it's funny and it makes me laugh. And I laughed at it. I don't entirely agree, but I definitely agree that interviewing an author who spent years researching a corporation's pollution and how that affects the general public, that to me is just so much more interesting than I got to wear a warrior outfit when I shot this sci-fi thing. I can also tell you who's more beautiful. It's not the authors. Broadway Great Gatsby was great. So fun. By the way, anytime I go to Broadway, it's great. I'm one of those guys. Were there some characters that couldn't hit the high notes? Yes. Were there some characters that absolutely destroyed it? Yes. Actually, and what's his name? Matt. Let's just do this. Gatsby Broadway. Matt something. What's his name? Just who is currently starring in Great Gatsby? It's not What's his fucking name? He was so good. Great Gatsby Broadway Matt actor. Is it Matt? No. You know what? This is important to me. This is important to me. It's happening. I got to give this guy props. I'm doing it. I'm on my email in the middle. I said his name was Matt. Ryan McCartan. Ryan McCartan, last night, playing Jay Gatsby on Broadway, American actor and singer, absolutely crush city, Grand Slam champion level, voice, acting, funny. I don't know the guy. He would hit these notes, and he was sitting down on a couch doing a scene, and then he would pop up real quick and hit a fucking note and hold it. I'm like, where did the breath come from? Kosta's into breath work these days. Where did the fuel for that note come from? Ryan McCartan. Am I saying it right? Let's get into him. Born 1993, creating the role of Jason J.D. Dean in the off-Broadway cast of Heathers, the musical, which I also saw and loved. So, I've seen him before. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just feeling the comfort of Ryan McCartan. His Broadway credits include playing the 15th Wicked, Prince Hans, and the closing cast of Frozen. That's what's so interesting, too. Like, closing cast is different than opening cast, which is different than mid-cast. Depending on how long a musical lasts, you get different casts going on. And there was a moment yesterday where we were running late. We get to the theater. We made it on time. I hate showing up late to that shit. Oh my God, I fucking hate it. It is nothing more disrespectful, but sometimes it has to happen, but it didn't happen yesterday. Thank goodness. And I appreciate them for starting 5-6 minutes late. There was a point where I was still in my reality brain, the reality brain that is Michael Kosta, that is daily life in New York, that is checking my emails, that is, getting show breakdowns for the Daily Show, guests, blah, 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 pushing the book, all that shit. And then you enter the Broadway, and the first opening number, there's fucking fireworks and water and people wearing these beautiful outfits, singing these beautiful songs, choreographed. And you're just like, what did I walk into? There's this thing of if I was an alien and I entered this space, I would go, what the fuck is this? This is so strange. And man, I had great seats. Thank you. The men are playing like men, I got a girlfriend man. I like to have sex with women men. But when you're sitting that close, you're like, oh, these are extremely gay men dancing. And it's very funny and effective because they're great at it. They're great actors and singers. It's very funny watching a very effeminate gay man sing and dance like a hetero bro man, but then seeing that both exist at the same time. Does anybody know what I'm talking about right now? The point is this. Ryan Jerome McCartan crushed it, and he's 31 years old, and he was born in Excelsior, Minnesota, which is fucking awesome because that means he didn't grow up going to Broadway. It means there was either a teacher or a program or a high school or a parent or a sibling or somebody that introduced him to this world, or he was closeted gay and therefore just had a propensity for Broadway. Have I offended people yet? I don't know what's going on here. His father was the principal at the high school. Career. Let's just read it. How about that, Michael? Instead of pissing people off with your guesses. McCartan began his career in a minor part of stage version of Disney's High School Musical 2007, Minnesota's first regional production of The Phantom of the Opera, The same year, he won Best Performance by the Actor at the Jimmy Awards, given out by the Broadway League to the top performers in high school music productions. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Type 1 diabetes since he was 6. All right. Anyways, the point is he's great. Really fun to watch. Congrats to Ryan on a great career. It's not over yet. But all Broadway actors and actresses, so fun to watch. So much respect for them, and really was really a great show. All right. The story of the women's tennis is really Dubai, right? It was Andreeva who beat Towson in the finals to win the WTA 1000. Youngest person in the top 10 since 2007. The big story here was she beat Iga Swiatek in the quarters, 3-3. She then beat Rybakina 6-3 in the third. She then beat Towson 7-6, 6-1. Keep in mind, I was at the French Open when she kind of came on the scene, but she lost to Coco Gauff handily. I mean, this has been the progression that was expected. I'm always impressed when the young player actually starts to deliver, right? Because you see them so young, and you're like, well, they just lost 1 and 2 to Coco Gauff. How can this person possibly figure this shit out? Well, amazing result, and amazing result. Let's look at the rankings real quick. Does she even? So she's now number 9 in the world. Sabalenka 1, Swiatek 2, Coco Gauff 3, Jessie Pegula 4, Madison Keys 5. Wow, there's a lot of Americans. Paulini 6, Rybakina 7, Zhang 8, Andreeva 9, Emma Navarro 10. So Americans have Coco Gauff, Jessie Pegula, Madison Keys. We have 4 in the top 10. That's amazing. And by the way, next one down is Daniel Collins at 14. And then Anna Samova's back up to 18. Wow, she did that quickly. At least it seems like. Men. So, I had a chance to do Andy Roddick's podcast yesterday. Really nice, really fun to chat with him. I mean, I could dork out with him forever. I looked up some of his results before we spoke. He actually seemed to have read some of the book. Lucky Loser comes out March 11th. Pre-order it now, michaelcosta.com, or just anywhere. Bookshop.org supports independent small bookshops. So that's, if you don't want to do the Amazon thing, bookshop.org. You just look up Lucky Loser, look up my name. Roddick was, it was really fun to talk with him. He treated me with utmost respect, where you would think somebody at his level of tennis, doesn't need to treat me as a peer, as an equal. I was a guest on his show, so that was really nice. And he read the book, and he, there's a lot of parts in the book where I only use first names for people, and he did a funny thing where he just told me all their last names because he knows them too. So that was fun. Any protection those people had is now wasted. I had forgotten that Roddick won the U.S. Open the year after Pete Sampras won the U.S. Open. Did you remember that? So Roddick won the U.S. Open. He was 21 years old, 2003. And the reason that's significant to me is Pete Sampras was he was done playing pro tennis. He won the U.S. Open 2002, and he was gone. And the American conversation was, well, who's next? We know Roddick is good, but who's next? If I recall correctly, Pete beat Roddick in the quarterfinals of 2002 pretty handily. So there was this thought, and in Roddick, you can watch him play and realize that there was a couple things that might hold him back from winning the Grand Slam. I wouldn't say this to him on his show. Backhand and volleys. I mean, this is coming from a guy who, never played in a tour level event, really. But winning the U.S. Open 2003, that solidified, this guy's next. Andy Roddick is next. And what a fucking burden to carry. And his bio on the ATP website the first sentence is people came to love Andy Roddick, and I do think that's accurate. It also said his serve is devastating, which is accurate. It also reminded me that in his last game of the U.S. Open Finals to serve out the championship, he hit 3 aces. That is so big dick. I love that. It also called his forehand fluent, which I don't like. He doesn't have a fluent forehand. He has a punishing forehand. You can't say devastating forehand because the serve was devastating. Offensive, apocalyptic, fluent. Nothing's fluent about a forehand that can hurt you. Oh, that guy's sword is fluent. So Andy Roddick on all-time wins. I looked this up. 25. Number 25. With a 74% win rate. He's won 612 matches. He played for 13 seasons. And that's tough. That's a tough style of play, physicality to play for 13 seasons. Now, this also blew me away when I pulled up all-time wins. Jimmy Connors is still the leader at 1,274 wins. I mean, this fucking guy won 81% of his matches, 82%. So Jimmy Connors won 1,274 matches. Next, Roger Federer, 1,251. Next, Novak Djokovic, 1,131. Next, Nadal, 1,080. Next, Ivan Lendl. These guys were such beasts, 1,068. Next, Guillermo Vilas. Next, Ili Nastase. These guys played so much tennis. Next, John McEnroe. Next, Andre Agassi. Next, Stefan Edberg, a serve and volleyer, coming in at 801. Then Arthur Ashe. It's kind of fun to look at results and see Arthur Ashe still in there. Fucking love that. Stan Smith, 779. Pete Sampras, 762. Andy Murray, 739. David Ferrer. Manuel Orantes. I mean, number 16, Manuel Orantes. That's probably the first name that I'm like, who? I even think I remember that name. Let's go all the way down to the name that I really don't know. Next, Boris Becker, Brian Gottfried, 702. I never would have guessed that Brian Gottfried was 18th alt, higher than Andy Roddick. Tom Oker, 19. Do I know him? Maybe. Michael Chang, Bjorn Borg, Thomas Burditch, Tomas Muster, Leighton Hewitt, Andy Roddick, Yevgeny Kafelnikov, Eddie Dibbs, Jesus Christ, 27. Richard Gasquet, Goran Ivanisevic, Roscoe Tanner's 30. John Alexander, there we go, number 31. 591 wins. 8 titles. I don't know who that person is. Clicking, either does the ATP website. It's just an egg. Just a silhouette. Congrats to Andreeva. Congrats to Rublev, who won another ATP 500. Congrats to me for having a book that's coming out March 11th that you're going to buy. Congrats to you for buying it. Congrats to Jannik Sinner for somehow managing a 90-day suspension in the heart of no tournaments. Roddick and Wertheim talked about this extensively, so I won't. But a punishment. Nobody seems to think Jannik Sinner did anything intentionally to cheat, but his team fucked up, and the player has to pay the price for that. And they got into a 90-day... Whoops, just kicked the tripod, as I always do. The team got... If you're watching on YouTube, my apologies. They somehow negotiated a 90-day suspension. There's been a lot of talk about if you have money and wealth and lawyers, you can kind of negotiate these things, whereas other players don't get that same opportunity. Now I'm fucking up the whole tripod thing. So, yeah, and it's also super... Roddick and John Wertheim said, it's like getting suspended from school during spring break. There's no big tournaments here. He'll be suspended for 90 days with no big tournaments. And he gets to come back and play Rome, the biggest tournament in his home country. So, a lot to be discussed about with that. I do think it's clear everybody feels Jannik Sinner did not intentionally cheat or take a performance-enhancing drug, but there are rules that were broken. His trainer did it, but the player does pay the price, and that's the way to do it. What do you do? If you're going to punish the trainer, everyone would just cheat, and then the trainers would get fired. They'd hire new trainers. All right, what did I have to tell you? Great Gatsby, Roddick. Oh, this was my favorite part about the Roddick podcast. We were talking about comedy versus tennis, and I said, in comedy, when you fail, it's very personal. It hurts a lot. You sweat. Sometimes your ass sweats, your armpit sweats. One time I bombed so hard I had to change my socks. I mean, it's like crazy, right? And you feel personally fail as a failure there, because those are your ideas, your thoughts, your emotions, your family, your point of view that you're sharing with the audience, and the audience has rejected it. Tennis, you can sometimes just lose badly because your opponent played great. And those are easier to digest sometimes. And he told a funny story that I love. I love when people that are so much more accomplished than me in tennis share this types of insight. He said that he was being coached by Jimmy Connors at one point, which I had forgotten. I remember that did happen, though. And sometimes Connors would say if Roddick played an amazing point, but somehow lost, where the opponent hit just a screaming winner, a lucky stab volley, whatever. It was just too good. And this is going to be on the pod, so I hope I don't butcher it. But Connors would say, operation successful, but the patient died. Like, you're the doctor, you're a surgeon, you did everything right. You did it. You executed properly, but sometimes the patient dies. So I like that. How can you use that today in your job? That made me laugh. All right. A lot of book signings coming up. Atlanta, St. Louis, New York, Boston, Austin, Toronto. Check it out, michaelkosta.com. Let's open up this box. Palm Beach, LA. A lot of good stuff coming up. It's all going to be at michaelkosta.com. Please follow me on Instagram. Please leave a rating and a review for Tennis Anyone podcast. It helps. It really does help. When you go to a podcast and you see a lot of ratings, you go, oh, this is a legit pod. I should listen to this. I get these emails sometimes that are like, hey, come do my thing. And then I go to that page's podcast and it's like 3 reviews. I can't do that. I can't take an hour out of my day and tell my family I'm not going to see you for an hour so then I can go do a thing that no one is going to listen to. Even though, you know what I mean. Please leave a rating and review. Let's do some unboxing, shall we? Here we go. Can I do this for the camera? What am I doing, Michael? You fucking loser. All right, so this is the box sent to me from the HCCA. HCCA. Habitat Community Center? What's the H? This is Asheville. Stop thinking about it. Don't show your address, Michael. Woohoo! Looks good already. So sometimes when you're a celebrity like, yeah, boy, you say yes to stuff because it's important to say yes to stuff, and you don't get paid. And just so people know, they usually pay your travel expenses. And you do usually get a gift bag. It doesn't mean you have to, and you don't certainly do anything because you get a gift bag. We're here to raise money for Western North Carolina, which we did raise about $1 million. And by the way, this means that the tournament director, Jim Curley, the people that are involved, they either had to take the money from this to buy us a gift bag, or most likely what happens is this shit gets donated. Either way, my point is, you really hope it's nice to get a gift bag, but you really hope it doesn't take away from the whole event. We're doing this anyways. Let's put it towards the people that need it. So I know they did that, and now it's time to honor the celebs. First up, a t-shirt. Stars Serving Love. This was the thing I played in. And it's a double XL, which is fucking enormous. Jim Curley, what are you trying to say to me, bruh? That'll be good for somebody. Ooh, this is nice. Earth bag. There's stuff in it. Barbecue thick cut potato chips. Asheville mix, handcrafted popcorn to your fucking dome. Asheville, Mountain Marvelous, deeply rooted, ever evolving, official visitor's guide. Fuck yeah! Asheville's such a great place, dude. That's my retirement spot. East Fork Pottery. Huh? By the way, these gift bags for tennis shit is way classier than the gift bags for comedy. I one time did a comedy festival and they just gave us a bag of mushrooms. Which was fun too. East Fork. Whoa. Okay, classy. Okay, classy, huh? Gub. Asheville. Class act. Thank you for this. Thank you to all the brands involved with this, for real. A wood sticker that says Asheville. Why wouldn't I want that? An insulated stockable tumbler, dishwasher safe, that says Asheville. Booyakasha. You know, this shit happens a lot. I remember we did MTV sent me like all this stuff one time because the Daily Show, we got nominated for something, and it's great. It's fun stuff, but it's all like got their brands on it and their shows. And by the way, it's like a nice mug, so you use it. And now I'm just like at a coffee shop drinking a mug that says like road rules on it or something, you know, and you're like, oh fuck, they kind of tricked me on that one. Now this is nice. Here we go, because I don't actually have a racket bag right now. Check this out. Woo! Racket bag. Nice racket bag. Wilson. Uh-oh. I used to play Prince. It's got my name tag on there. It says Kosta. That's nice. Should we look and see what's inside? Oh, shit. There's stuff inside. I got to hurry this shit up. A Wilson. Looks like a zip-up polo. Okay. Okay. A pink Adidas hat signed by women's hat. Who would sign it? Pagula? Navarro? I'll find out. That looks like Pagula. That's sweet. A Red Bull hat signed by, I don't know. I'll find out. A can of tennis balls. Come on. Wilson zip up polo again. Nice. That's large. That's large. 2. Here we go. Doubles. What if this was like $10 million cash? I bet this is a piece of paper explaining what everything is. It is. Stars serving up love has supported the following local artists and small businesses for this event. This is all the stuff where it comes from. That's pretty cool. Love that. Small business. Asheville's a big small business community. And what was so sad about going around there was you saw them all boarded up. And they don't recover as quickly as Walmart or Target. They don't have, it's like a guy. It's a woman. They just own the place. That's what sucks so bad about COVID too. It was like, oh great, Target's back up and running, but the fucking cool coffee shop owned by Cheryl isn't, because her kid is sick or whatever. And that's what makes us interesting as humans, not Target. Handcrafted popcorn makes us interesting. Oh shit, this makes me happy. Booyaka shop. I should have signed it. Wristband, tennis ball keychain, one of the greatest fucking inventions of all time. No other sport has mastered the keychain like tennis. This is heavily Wilson branded. Oh, cool. I actually love these things. This is from the Asheville Police Department. I got one of these from the Secretary of Interior when I had her on. I forget her name. She was great. But it was like hurricane relief. These are very cool. I love these commemorative coin things. Oh, shit. Look at this. Oh, motherfucker, say what? Asheville Police Department, North Carolina. There's a picture of like a bridge, 2024, or a truck that's kind of fucked up. The back seems to be the actual like hurricane. Damn, that's intense. At the event, we had police and firefighters playing tennis, which was great. Thank you for this, Asheville Police Department. Much love to you. More Wilson stuff. Seamless polo. Booyah, Cache. Holy shit. Look at all this stuff. I'm not even going to open this. This looks so nice. This looks like I should just give it to like my wife, right? Proudly made in the United States. Art design. It seems some kind of flower device. Jesus Christ. Also, one thing that is hilarious about when people send you stuff in New York City, I got to find places for all this stuff. This is a poster. I'm not going to open it right now. I'm pretty certain it's the Stars Serving Love poster that we all signed. By the way, I really needed a racket bag. My racket bag, my old-ass racket bag is a Prince. It's been sitting around forever. It's got like mothballs in it, so this is great. And here's the piece de résistance. Look at this. Look at fucking this. Do I have to play Wilson now? This is a fucking racket, bro. This is a Wilson Shift 99. I'm a player looking for controllable power through massive spin. No, I'm not. I'm a player who's looking to whoop that fucking ass. Shift 99 Pro. Hey, thank you. And it's signed. Who signed it? That's Andy Roddick, right? Or is it Andre Agassi? That's an R. That's got to be Andy Roddick. Well, how fitting. I did his podcast yesterday. Am I supposed to play with this if the athlete's name is on it? I think Andy would say play with it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Asheville, thank you. That's really nice. What a great gift bag. You didn't have to do any of that, but I will be eating that popcorn pronto. Okay? I got to wrap this up. I got a call in 2 minutes. Thank you to everyone for listening to Tennis Anyone podcast. See you soon somewhere. If you do listen, come up and say hi. Let me know. It means a lot. Appreciate you all. Game, set, match. Kosta.